Where's Notion heading in 2022? I don't know if any of us have a direct idea, but we do know a couple things that Notion have promised, as well as some updates we've seen that have shown promise for Notion. So first on the integrations front, if we look here, we can see that there is a new update for a few different things like this Zoom meeting example, as well as OneDrive links, where before, if I were to paste a Zoom link in back when I was in school in 2020, the Zoom links wouldn't populate like this. But now, along with OneDrive files, I have the option to paste as a mention, a preview, or as a link. So originally it would just pop up like this, but the integrations have updated for these different references so that you can have it as I mentioned, so it even shows how large the file is, and as a preview, which is still not working to my liking, but recently they actually updated it so that you can see things. Beforehand, to be 100% honest, this was showing an error. Like the last time I made this update in a video, it was showing an error. So I'm just saying that Notion's making really good strides towards updating their integrations. With sync databases coming up, hopefully soon, I think we're gonna be able to see a real application that has some integrations. Always with applications like Notion, they've said, oh, we have integrations, but it's really link previews like this. But the thing is, Notion never even had a lot of link previews before. And something to really note is the fact that they closed down Automate.io. On May 3rd, the announcement was made to close down Automate.io. So Notion acquired them last September, and I was wondering whether they were going to keep trying to compete with companies like Zapier. So Zapier is partnering with Automate.io, 12 months free on their paid plan to subscription holders of Automate.io. And this is really nice of Zapier. And what it does is it allows for Notion to have an automation company be bought and only be used for the sole purpose of making Notion better. Our team has become integral to Notion and the future of Notion's platform efforts as we build together. A big part of what we are building is connecting Notion with every other tool and system we use so you can streamline, automate, and centralize your work. Together, we've built new platform features and launched new integrations to tools our customers use every day: Jira, GitHub, Figma, and Zoom. This is where the Zoom integration came from here. It may not be a direct integration and more of a link preview, but this is just from them having that team utilize their power while also trying to manage their own company. So what I think is going to happen next is the fact that this is going to lead towards a more ClickUp-like experience. And what do I mean by that? So first and foremost, a ClickUp-like experience would include something like this. This calendar view, where unlike in my Notion's daily actions page where I have to use an indify.co widget that doesn't really work great unless it's on the pro plan, I can have this where I am integrated with a calendar and have the ability to choose what calendars are on there specifically. Because with an automation company being 100% focused on Notion, we will be able to see a lot of future things in the application, like in ClickUp, because ClickUp has a lot more automation capability. So if I were to add a task here, do task example, I can actually make it so that there's a recurring task, right? And unlike in Notion, you're not going to be able to do this. But when a company is completely focused on this level of integrations with other applications and hopefully automations, Notion's going to have more bandwidth as a company to make things like this happen. People have figured out how to make recurring tasks with things like Integromat, Automate.io, and Zapier in Notion. So I figure that they're going to at least get closer to it throughout this year with the power of Automate.io behind them. I also think that Notion is going to have a lot more of an integrated side with other applications. As I've shown before, there is a really nice Notion integration with Sansama. So even just looking here, if we filter towards this day specifically, we can see that we have a grouping situation, a filtering situation that is completely the exact same as what you have in Notion, which is really cool. And you're not really going to see these daily planner apps have fake Notion integrations anymore because they're going to have to compete with Sansama. So Okiflow is going to have a much more in-depth Notion integration moving forward. And just the ability to interact and actually have integrated software like ClickUp really has with this sort of Google Calendar setup is hopefully what we're going to see moving forward with Notion. Now, as mentioned in Notion's block by block meeting, they are probably going to have more of a global presence moving forward. And I think that's going to happen when it comes to the language side of things. So if we go to settings and members and we go to languages, it used to just be English, but now we've moved into Korean, and then there's Japanese and French in beta. From what I hear, they're also trying to expand into other languages soon. And I really am excited for that because with an app that is getting so big, you really want it to be able to cover things like German and Spanish and other things that are slight variations on the English alphabet. And hopefully this is something they're going to focus on moving forward. Now, what are my hopes for this application? I'll be blunt, I don't think they're going to have a lot of what I really want as quickly as I want it, but I do think this. First, I think they're going to have synced databases finished sometime in this year, probably December 2022, if not by the end of the winter in February of 2023. I think by the end of 2023, hopefully they'll actually have things like dashboards in the ClickUp-like experience. I didn't bring it up, but something like this dashboard setup where you don't need to have third-party integrations would be awesome. I think that is something that Notion could implement sometime in 2023, as that is something that is really popular across a lot of different project management applications. And Notion is used by teams a lot and has a large following of people who use it from a project management standpoint. So they're going to have to try to find a way to integrate with third-party applications for dashboards better or have them themselves. And then honestly, I don't think until 2024 Notion is going to have recurring tasks. I'm trying to give them 2 more years to just get it to be figured out, because this is something that everyone's wanted for a while. And if I can hold out for that long and everyone else can hold out for that long, then we're going to have a really good time. And if not, I think a lot of the automations people are going to figure out are going to be great. I also hope that instead of just having the recurring tasks figured out, they implement a button feature at some point in 2023. You can make recurring tasks in ClickUp by pressing a button, and then it is formulated so that it moves dates and properties of things that you press the button on. For example, that task has its due date moved 7 days from now and then creates a new task, and then it's basically a recurring task. If you at least implement a button feature by 2023, I think we'd all be pretty happy with that as a solution to the whole situation. And I'd also be pretty happy if you click this video on how to improve your Notion even more.